What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hopefully welcome back. So this is 7 days ago. I had gotten 40 tons of gravel delivered on Friday. This is a Saturday. We had a big rain Friday night and then in Saturday morning. So I had tracked all of this gravel in and then ran over it with a land plane. You can see the ground has absorbed quite a bit of that gravel. In my opinion, that's okay. That's how you establish a good base. You could use the road cloth, driveway cloth, whatever you want to call it. That's fine if that's what you want to do. I'd rather do this. Personally, either way, you're spending time and materials. You can see we got a little erosion off here to the side. It's actually the flow of the water has just kind of pushed that erosion mat over a bit. And we didn't really lose any gravel there, but the flow of the water, I would say, is just a little more than what that erosion mat can handle. So we're going to have to do something different there. And you can see we don't have anywhere near as much silting down on this lower landing. And you know what? Not that much dirt came over the top of this. Even if it does, that's fine, because this stuff does kind of disintegrate. Maybe the plastic webbing not as quick as the straw that's in there, but it's doing its job. It's holding the seed. It's keeping the seed moist, giving a little bit of extra what it needs. But as far as this driveway goes, now this is what I've learned from doing the lower portion. Run over it with the truck, which has a lot of ground pressure, the tractor, let the ground swallow up whatever it's going to take. Keep running over it with a land plane when it dries up, and spread the gravel out, rinse and repeat. And eventually I've got on the driveway what I call a rock hard base, and I don't ever lose any gravel, never. So I think having your grading and pitching on the driveway correct, the correct material, which in my opinion is these number 4s to start with, makes a big difference. A lot of people have driveways where they're just constantly losing their gravel. I vowed that we were not going to do that, and that's not what we're doing. So, little girl wants the hot dog thrown. Now, we could do this all day if life was her way, but that's not what's going on. Miss Lily, aka the potato, is out and about. You can see we got some laundry out, and let's get on to the next portion of this video here. We've got solar. If you haven't seen any of my solar stuff, check it out. That's what we've been working on here, along with this driveway. Just kind of ran the land plane through here. I'm not going to video too much of this because it's a little redundant. For some reason, people don't really care too much about erosion control and grass seed. I don't blame you, but it's got to get done. So I ran out of grass seed and had some erosion mat left on the last video. Went and got some more grass seed and some more erosion mat. And then today I went and got some culvert pipes too. I got 60 foot of 12-inch culvert pipe, and we can make it down here without falling. That'd be great. So we've got a little erosion issue going on here. It pushed this mat down and over. That's why you see this dirt line. We didn't lose any rock, but I'm going to do sod here just for this run. It'll be about 4 foot wide of sod, so that way it's not washing anything out. And that's going to come down here, and basically going to put a little catch basin here, and then the culvert's going to run right over to that ditch that you see right over there. But there's these guys, plenty big enough for what we're doing here, and the water comes down here at a decent clip, nice straight shot, so I'm not concerned about ever getting clogs in there. But so we're going to do some more of this weed mat and grass seed. Really trying to hammer down on this project, close this gap between the gravel there and the gravel there. We've literally never been closer. Never been closer. I've decided this tree is staying. I really like this tree. It is a very handsome tree, not technically a healthy tree because it's got what somebody called a hobbit house down there, and I like that verbiage. But yeah, that tree's going to stay. I'm going to work around it. I really enjoy it. You know, it's leaning real hard and all that. But you know what? If this thing does decide to fall over, it's just going out into the ravine, and it can stay there, and nature can do their thing. So, but yeah, so I've smoothed this out a little bit more. You can see the got some erosion going on here, and this is all rock. Like I said, a lot of this up here is rock, and I'm going to let that be exposed. So I think the way this is going to end up looking is pretty much where you see this top edge going around. From there down will be grass, and then from there up close to the flat, it's going to be stone. So the stone is pretty cool looking. A lot of it's got covered up because I drug the land plane across it. We'll take a little walk up here. You can see what it looks like up close. Really neat, great colors. Gray, tan, red. And then this is what the face of it looks like. So this is gonna be really awesome once all the dirt washes off. Having all that exposed, it's gonna be cool. So this whole general area will be like that after, you know, some of the dirt washes off. So that's going to be neat. I really love stone, so we'll be checking that out. All right, let's do some work. All right, so we're hammering down on this driveway project. As you can see here, we got a little bit of an erosion issue coming through here. This mat is not really, you know, holding up to the flow of water that we've got. So I decided, you know, there's different things you could do here. You could do riprap. You could do, you know, I could start my culvert here to catch most of the water. Anyhow, I came up with a less invasive solution, which is sod. I really don't want to have riprap here. It's expensive. It's a pain in the butt to put down. And then I've got to mow around it, which means I probably have to weed eat or whatever. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try sod. I think this can hold up to the flow of water that we've got. And it doesn't change my mowing habits or anything like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll have to do a little shaping up here and put this down. And we're going to get to test it right away because we've got a whole bunch of rain on the way. So I got a great deal on this. I just kind of showed up at a sod place. They're like, do you have an order? I said, no, I'm just kind of looking to get something that's full sun tolerant. And he was like, hey, I've got 400 square foot of this Burma that I can give you for basically like 55 cents a square foot. It's, I guess, getting ready to expire or whatever. I mean, it doesn't look terrible to me, but, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm just kind of putting it in a swale. It doesn't really need to be premium product. I don't know why this is cut in these small pieces. It's going to be very inconvenient for installation. I'm going to use a lot of staples, and it's going to be more prone to washing out. So we'll see how that goes. But anyhow, we've got to do this whole area here. And if you can see the hue, I've got grass coming in already. So I guess that basic seed is really super seed. And I also got these culverts. I got 60 foot of culvert. That's a 12-inch double walled. And that's going to start somewhere around here. I'm going to have to make a bit of a basin. And then it's going to run straight over to where you see that little notch in the dirt. I'm going to lay that thing right through here. Did a little feathering down here. We got a pop-up rainstorm yesterday that kind of made things messy. So I may wait till after all this rain that we're going to be getting over the next week to put the anti-erosion mat up through here, because I think that's just going to be a real mess. And I'll wait to do the culvert as well. But making some headway on this situation. All of this gravel has been tracked into the soil really well. I've gone over it with a land plane a few times. I don't think it's going to sink much more. And I don't really think that I need to add any. It's a little thicker here than it is in some of the other spots. But what I've done on the lower driveway is just keep driving over it. Like, this is a thinner spot here. Keep driving over it, letting it pack in, and then just kind of running over it with a land plane and spreading it out. And like, this is a thin area here. As long as it's not sinking, going over that with crush and run would be fine. It helps to lock everything in. And yeah, so we're making progress. As you can see, the grass is growing in. I also did another strip. I guess this was like 200 feet on this upper level here. I had ran out of grass seed before. I didn't film that. I don't think anybody's really interested in watching that. So anyhow, we're going to get cracking on this soon.